Shalom, double honors to the apostles of GMS. Honors you brothers will be pushing this truth in sincerity, and all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is going to be a relatively quick video, focusing on the topic that you have before us. In that it says the beast system arises. The largest bank in Norway calls for the elimination of cash. And further to that is the fact that what people have to really realize is how these banks operate. And in terms of having a cashless society, that's not really an unforeseeable future. Really, that's actually quite easy if you take into account that most banks may only hold a small percentage of the money that they have on paper. All right, which that's not money. We know that through the scriptures that money pertains to gold, silver, and other commodities such as cows and sheep and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, what these banks have is a small percentage in terms of paper money and coins and so on and so forth relative to the bank's balance sheet. Okay, so not dealing in cash really is conducive to the bankers, man. It works to their benefit. Okay, that works to their benefit. All right, so it says the biggest bank in Norway is calling for complete and total elimination of cash. All right, and you're gonna get that in a lot of banks, man. All right, as we move towards the inception of the mark of the beast, and really not the inception, but rather more the mandating of the RFID chip, which we know through the scriptures in the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 17th verse, that's talking about the mark of the beast, man. We know the beast to be NATO, and the dragon to be the Roman Empire, the resurgence of the Roman Empire, the beast being NATO, which comprises of the European nations. But also what one has to remember is NATO is also run by the United States, so the whole beast system encompasses the United States, all right, and the and all of them different nations that make up, NATO, that EU, the Germans and so on and so forth. Okay, so when we get back into this article, it says many local bank branches in Norway already don't deal in cash, but it's not good enough for the DNB, which I'm guessing, following from the article, that this DNB rather more is really the biggest bank in Norway. All right, it says, and you know what these elites do? They start they test run some of these things that they do out in them little nations, man. All right, for instance, the Ebola and so on and so forth, and other different viruses and catastrophes and so on and so forth. They try them out on a small scale before they bring them forth to a larger scale. Otherwise, you have a higher risk of failure. All right. But if you have a test run, so to speak, you're all good, man. All right. It says they want a blanket ban on the use of cash, and they are selling this as a way to crack down on criminals and money launderers. Okay, and hey, one sure way of cutting down money launderers and so on and so forth for them is to have that mark of the beast, because you're gonna have to be present to make that transaction, man. It says, but in the end, the truth is that they want to be able to force everyone into society to use the banks, and will enable them to collect fees on almost every transaction. Okay, it's just an agenda that is being driven by greed. Right, so they want, pretty much what that statement is saying, part of the reason what they want to do that is when they use a cashless society is, they can charge for the transactions. All right, and almost every transaction, it says, is an agenda that is being driven by greed, but it could also open the door for great tyranny. Unfortunately, we are just seeing aggressive movements towards a cashless society in Norway. It is also happening in Sweden and Denmark and in many other countries all around the globe. Right? It says the beast system is rising, and very few people out there even seem alarmed by this, and they're not gonna be alarmed. All right. Part of the reason why Esau always pushing you to get big TVs and phones and tablets and so on and so forth is to push forth his media agenda. All right. Through that media, through the witchcraft, really you get in the TV, hence the word TV, the statement TV programming. Esau really makes you what he wants you to be. He drives your desires. all right, he formulates your thoughts. Okay, so him having a cashless society, he's been formulating those thoughts since, for decades, man. Movies that come to mind is the movie that had the man Wesley Snipes, where they had pretty much that movie. Was it Demolition Man? That was really that their ultimate agenda. All right, that's like their ultimate agenda to have that happening there. All right. They also showed you that in the movie with the man, the Welsh actor that did Batman. I forget his name at the minute. All right. And the name of the movie was called Equilibrium. All right. And they showed you, little bits and pieces about that, but see, people see that as movies at first, and then when the technology comes out, they ain't refusing it. They ain't refusing it. All right. So it's not going to be alarming for these people. Why? Because a great darkness, a great blanket, like the scripture says, is gone out for these people. Right? It says, and when I first learned about what was happening in Norway, I was absolutely stunned. I have ancestors that come from over America, from over there, and I have no idea that this was happening. All right, and the following comes from the International Business Times. It says the largest bank in Norway. So this is the excerpt from the International Business Times. It says the largest bank in Norway has called for the country to stop using cash, and locals, and that the local reported Friday. It says this comes as latest moves in the country has been leading the globe charge towards electronic money in recent years, and several banks already not offering cash in their branches. And says as some industries seeking to cut back on paper currency. All right, so this is all towards, you can read the rest of the article should you desire. You can find it on the end of the American Dream. Okay, so you can read the rest of that article. But what you're seeing from this, man, you're seeing 3 countries which are I believe to be in the EU. All right, off the top of my head, I can't quite remember, but they're certainly out there in Europe. So you would imagine they were. All right, but pretty much these 3 different countries, all right, have decided and are making moves towards a cashless society. And you've got it to where they already, they've got the infrastructure for a cashless society that has the RFID chip in it. In your bank cards now, you have contactless technology, which is the RFID chip. The only next step in that technology is to move the RFID chip from the card that you have in your wallet right now into your hand. So the infrastructure is there. All right. So you work out. The scripture says, work out your own salvation. So you work out whatever you will from the statements made. And the only thing I can say is, the brothers that be of the elect, you gotta stay up, man. All right, and stay strong in the faith, because all that could be deduced from what you're seeing from this is, man, the Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. So with that, I'm gonna say double honors to the elders of GMS, honestly brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. All praises unto Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. Shalom.